a miniature episode very late this weekend, in fact the Monday morning, as I've had other commitments and YouTube was pinging upload errors at me. Plus, the larger episode I'm working on is just half gestated in the edit suite. So I come bearing news regarding inflatable Alansøn. This evening, I decided to buy Alansøn a gift. Given that through these coastal legs of our movements north, Alansøn is acting as both launch and potential emergency escape, we are towing him neatly behind. This won't be appropriate offshore, but it's fine here. Keeping a Hypalon inflatable, especially one as smart as Alansøn, in good condition is the least I can do for him, and indeed all of us tangled in Alan's web. Salt, solar UV, and all manner of other environmental tribulation really should be avoided if possible. It's rather hard to find nylon covers specifically matched to exact inflatable boat lengths and beams, so there's always going to be a certain amount of stretching and tensioning going on. The one I ordered apparently spans a 50cm range, and we don't want it flapping around. We'll see how it fits. So I washed Alansøn down with fresh water and dried him off, as trapping the salt and damp already in there from the first leg and following days of sun and rain seemed counterproductive. There's an elasticated bow and stern end, and then buckle straps to run underneath. Strictly, I suppose the cover is for those storing the boat dry and ashore, but if I was doing that medium to long term, surely it's best to deflate, roll, bag and store. Keeping the boat in the water will mean Alansøn, once back on the wet stuff, is going to have the cover edges and the nylon straps in the water, but I don't see this as a major issue. It's well made, and I suspect would survive a washing machine cycle just fine, and it's less than 50 quid, a reasonable price to pay to keep an expensive inflatable out of mischief, even if it needs replacing once in a very long while. I've tensioned it pretty well, and there should be limited pooling of any rainfall. And even more hurriedly, good news on the VHF transmission issues I had. Kevin from KM Electronics in Lowestoft came to the rescue. Kevin the superstar has just gone to get another connector, but you'll be very, very pleased to know that we have actually got one of the meters that everyone's been going on about, an SWR meter, and we've discovered that there is a problem in pretty much every part of the installation. This is when you should definitely outsource to people who know what they're doing. We can now transmit a good 7 or 8 miles with clear reception, and Kevin was also able to re-register the AAS unit, which was a job I was keen to do as soon as I found someone qualified to do so. It's all plugged in, and all I need to do now is find a mini USB cable. So obsolete I'm surprised there's no need for a cassette tape as well. This will mean I can talk to the AAS and tell it to exit silent mode, which it's currently stubbornly in. To celebrate this near victory, I had a quick wander around to see another of Alan's cousins, although a brand new one I'll show you in the next episode, and also the Lifeboat Training Centre over the water, which is, or isn't, still in business, depending on who you ask. That's all I have time to stitch together late this evening, and early this morning, save for a very brief briefing about the diesel and marina costs. I thought I might slide in a quick comment at the end about the sheer scale of the crowds and clamouring that could probably be heard and be seen from space regarding those wanting to contribute to Alan's fuel bills, that is, buying Alan some diesel, but also some of the marina costs, because obviously as we move up the East Coast, we're going to have to stop in, and I'm going to have to come back to London for work and for editing and all sorts of other things. And so there are costs that we're incurring along the way up to Scotland en route to crossing the North Sea over to Norway. And basically you guys have pulled up an absolute blinder. So on the channel page on my website, what I've tried to do is divvy up the costs. On one hand, there are going to be the diesel costs, and that's the fuel gauge that you saw. That's now full for leg 1, and I'm not going to try and raise some more for legs 2 and 3 until I know what's going on schedule-wise with those. But the other costs have been divvied into the other pot, which is for the marina costs. So hopefully it's all very transparent. You'll see on the website where the money is being apportioned. And basically that means that yes, we're done for diesel for the first bit, but my costs are going to start skyrocketing. First of all, for the VHF costs, and also some mechanic stuff that's coming up soon. So I'm going to keep that open, and if anyone does want to still help out with this particular leg, getting ourselves up the English coast, up the Scottish coast, and to the Shetlands, which we call leg 1, then that would be awesome. Alan appreciates it. Alansøn, being dragged along behind, probably appreciates it too, but he doesn't really say very much. Anyhow, that's all for me. Bye.